Let's do a quick sound check. Can you hear me? Yes or no? Can you hear me? Ingram is here, ready to take over the post fight, which means I get to go and have some ice cream. But before that, Chris Eubank Jr. making a fucking fool of himself. In the post fight interview with Sky Sports, Chris Eubank Jr. looked into a fucking camera and told everybody he deliberately didn't knock Liam Williams out in this fight. He could have knocked him out at any point in time, but people like Liam Williams need to be taught a lesson, and they shouldn't be in boxing. So that's a new one I've never heard tonight. Chris Eubank Jr., after scoring 4 knockdowns, 3 of them very early on in the fight, deliberately chose, it was part of the Chris Eubank Jr. game plan to not knock out Liam Williams in tonight's fight. I mean, just a bizarre post-fight interview. Chris Eubank Jr. said, people always tell me I can't box. Apparently, I have no jab. I think we saw tonight he has no jab. So I thought, you know what? Let me show these critics some different Chris Eubank Jr. and add some Roy Jones sauce to it. For me, a bizarre fight, a bizarre post-fight interview with bizarre cards to stop it off. I thought the whole production tonight was bizarre. I think Ben Shalom should retire from boxing. I think the guy who was fucking wasting everybody's fucking time singing My Delilah, I think he needs a Chris Eubank left hook to the jaw for making everybody wait for the main event. Overall tonight, I would call this shit on top of shit on top of shit. The only good thing I would say about tonight before I bring Ingram in is Michaela Meyer is a hell of a pundit. Michaela Meyer absolutely cleaned up Johnny Nelson and gave a proper post-fight analysis and said that Chris Eubank Jr. looked good for the first 3 rounds. I don't even think so. But after that, he was lazy. He didn't look good. No jab. Basically everything that I was telling you in the commentary box. And Johnny Nelson was trying to edge in and promote, because obviously, you know, Sky Sports, you can tell Sky are desperate for stars. That's all I'll say. You know, when Sky are forced to lick in the ring piece of Chris Eubank Jr. and his dad, do you know what I mean? When you have to start licking the ring piece, yeah, of a 50-year-old man who turns up to fights here wearing a sheriff's badge, this dude's turning up looking like Deputy Dog. That's what Sky, you know what, listen, I don't even like Eddie Hearn, yeah? But that's what Sky has now turned into. They've lost that many fighters. They're now forced to licking the ring piece of Deputy Dog, a.k.a. Chris Eubank Sr. and his son. The whole thing tonight was an absolute disgrace. But you're not here, and you're not here to care what I think. You're here to hear what Ingram thinks. Oh, shit. My headphones. Let me just turn them on, Ingram, before you start talking, so I can make sure I get them on. Hold on a minute. Boom. And boom. Let me just turn my headphones on. Sorry, Bluetooth in here, so everything's going tits up. Right, Ingram, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Ultra. How you doing?
Yes. For some reason, I've got some kind of background noise appearing. Just give me a sec. Oh, yes, that was it. That would be the Sky Sports I've got in the background. All right, Ingram, thank fuck you're here, because that means to me it's tea time. I'll leave you with this very, very heartwarming picture of the. In fact, you know what I'll do, Ingram, before I let you get off? I'll leave you with this lovely video of Chris Eubank Jr. throwing 56 left hooks in a row. Ingram, I'm going to mute myself for a second. Do we have a world champion on our hands?
I don't know. I don't know. You know, I'm kind of disappointed in Chris Eubank Jr. because tonight, I thought, you know what, tonight's the night he's going to put it all together and he's going to demolish Liam Williams. And in the first round, I'm like, drop Williams, I'm like, okay. Then the second round, like, yeah, this is good. Fourth round, like, yes. Okay, now you're going to finish this guy off. Fifth round, sixth round, seventh round, eighth round, ninth round. You know, and while this is all going on, I'm thinking about that poor guy who put his life savings on Chris Eubank Jr. to get the stoppage win. And I'm thinking to myself, we used to slate Chris Eubank Jr. for what he used to do when he had Ronnie Davis and they said he didn't need a trainer. But to be honest, the old school Chris Eubank Jr. probably would have demolished Liam Williams. This Eubank Jr. was on tonight. I don't know what the hell he was doing. I mean, when you want to punish somebody, you really want to hurt somebody, you really want to do a number of them. Look at Roy Jones Jr. when he fought Vinny Pazienza. That is what you call destroying somebody. You know, really punishing somebody Roy Jones, Vinny Pazienza. I saw a Eubank Jr. tonight that seemed that he just didn't really want to engage. I don't know if it's because Leah Williams hit him with something early and he thought, well, no, I don't want this tonight. Or he's just, I don't know. He just seemed like he didn't want to engage.
Well,
and go ahead.
Let me just jump in very quickly, Ingram. You'll love this. So, do you know what? Ingram brought up a very important point. Chris Eubank in a post-fight Ingram saying, that he chose not to finish off Liam Williams. Well, listen, he just cost poor Callum his life savings. Can you see on the screen here? That tells you how fucking full of shit Chris Eubank Jr. is. He's sitting there 1 minute before the fight and he's applauding this guy for ploughing his fucking life savings into Chris Eubank winning by stoppage. Chris, I've just unloaded my life savings onto you to win by stoppage. Don't let me down. Chris then fucking puts that on Instagram and says, now that's some belief right there. Then in the fucking post-fight interview, Chris Eubank turned around and going, do you know what? It was never my plan to put him out of there. It was never my plan to stop him. Yeah, it was my plan to teach him a lesson. So shout out to Chris Eubank Jr. Either he's a complete lying piece of turd, or he's deliberately just put Callum out on the streets. Because I tell you what, Ingram, this card tonight has been a complete lose-lose. I've lost hair. I've lost brain cells. That Welsh singer at the beginning of the show, My Oh My Delilah, he's lost his voice, Chris Eubank Jr. lost his jab, and Callum has probably just lost his house. Carry on, Ingram.
Poor Callum. Let's start from the beginning. Before we even go on about Eubank Jr., let's start from the beginning of the show. We had that Steve Robinson. I don't know what the hell he's doing boxing on a live show. He should be on a small hall show or something. I mean, against that Shane Gill. And they put the show on, they put the fight on, and afterwards they go, these are two inexperienced fighters. They've got a lot to learn. What the hell are you putting them on a damn show for if they're that inexperienced? They're that bad? What the hell are you doing? He's 35 years old. He's not got much time, is he? Yeah, he's only 35 years old. I don't know where he's going to go with his career. I'm like, what the hell are you got? And then the next one, Chris Jenkins, right? And they put him against Indongo, right? And then after, when they say, he's making a comeback, he's doing this and that. And at the end, they go, well, I don't know what he's doing with his career now. He's about British level, isn't he? I think to myself, these are two guys, two fights you've put on, right? And both fighters seem to have no career. They seem to be going nowhere. So why the hell are they on Sky Sports if they're going nowhere? I don't understand it.
Can I ask you, Ingram, do you think, I never thought I'd hear myself say this.
Yeah.
Because he is a toupee wearing lying motherfucker. But do you think Sky miss Eddie Hearn? Because see this guy, see these two. See the thing about this, when you leave Adam Smith and Ben Shalom, to their own devices. I don't know if you've seen my my new nickname for Adam Smith and Ben Shalom. I don't know if you're aware of it, right? There was a cartoon called Animaniacs, and you had these two, Pinky and the Brain. And that's why I call you Adam Smith and Ben Shalom, Adam Smith's the brain, or the fake brain, and Pinky is Ben Shalom. This is the same Ben Shalom, that rang up Frank Warren last week, claiming to represent Dillian White, He now, making some of the shittest cast of mankind. I just thought tonight, we've had a lot about Sky and the comeback, but did they miss Eddie Hearn? Did they miss Matchroom at all tonight? Because that was fucking dire, Ingram, to be honest.
So, okay, what do you think Eddie could have put on tonight? Because Eddie's put on some absolutely horrendous shows himself. So,
do you know what? I haven't seen this Steve USSR Robinson yet, and I'm trying not to criticize him because he's very, very closely affiliated with another channel. So I don't want to hammer in too much. I haven't seen it. I heard he was dreadful, but I don't want to hammer it too much. But Dave Allen, give me a Dave Allen over a USSR Robinson. Give me a Chisora. Couldn't they find some body out of a freezer, pick some body up out of a freezer and stick him in with Chisora? Any old bullshit other than this. I mean, look, for me, what were you saying? We'll talk about Clarissa Shields in a sec. I didn't see much of the undercard, to be honest. I know you watched the whole thing, so I can't comment on Dongo and Jenkins. I didn't really watch that properly. I did watch Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall, which we can talk about in a sec. I want to get on Eubank back quickly, just because we've got a few people here and it's late. Cool. I don't want people to go for Eubank. My criticism of Chris Eubank is the following.
Okay.
I don't think there was any real big improvements that I saw from Chris Eubank tonight. That's my opinion. I could be completely wrong on that. I think maybe you could say he looked a bit lighter on his feet, a little bit more footwork. But I think Liam Williams has shown tonight, and I actually picked Liam Williams to win tonight, actually. And I just thought, I'm going to go with Liam Williams to win this. I always thought Liam Williams could win by points. I don't know what you thought about Matthew Matkins' card. For once in my life, I actually saw it very, very similar to Matthew Matkin. In that if Eubank didn't get them 2 knockdowns early on, he actually probably lost this fight on the cards, in my opinion. I thought, ironically, in the rounds which Eubank didn't knock down Williams, I actually thought he was being dominated. And I could be wrong on that, but I thought he'd been dominated tonight. And I think...
Yeah. I would agree with you there. I would agree. I would say, guys...
No, I think the key with Eubank, I think Eubank's a fighter who has been absolutely sussed out now. He's been sussed out a million times, Eubank. And I think it's key. And I think the only thing with Williams is not a big 160 and doesn't have the punch power to really put it on him, right? Remember when Eubank got him with Groves? Groves was a big super middle, huge super middle, really had the power to make it count, right? But I think Williams has shown the blueprint, and the blueprint has always been the same. Korobov used it. I think Korobov would have beat Eubank easy that night if Korobov's shoulder hadn't come out. I think Groves beat Eubank easy. I think Saunders beat Eubank, won the first 6-7 rounds at Cantor. It's the jab. Chris Eubank has no jab of his own to disrupt the other jab. He has no gauge of distance, and Chris Eubank Jr. doesn't know what to do when there's a jab in his face. And I actually thought, to be honest, Ingram, I thought the game plan from Williams was spot on. Short of being knocked down by a couple of jabs, which there's nothing a trainer can do about that, I thought the game plan from Williams was absolutely spot on. I thought he fought at intense pace. That's the most I've seen Chris Eubank Jr. ever move around in a ring. I thought that's the most gassed I've ever seen Chris Eubank Jr. looked, because he wasn't able to go for his little breaks. Normally, he hurts somebody, he goes for his little walkies, he goes for his little walk around, yeah? And then he comes back, gets up close and gets explosive again. And he wasn't able to do that. Williams was very, very good at keeping up the pace, keeping active, and keeping the jab in his face. And for me, Eubank's a guy, like I said, maybe Roy Jones added a few bells and whistles here, there, but for me, it's still the same old Eubank. You know, the jab, he has no jab of his own, but he does have, when the jab's in his face and he's been pushed around and he's on the back foot, to me, he goes to pieces and he's not able to set the shots up on the back foot. And for me, that's the real reason why Williams survived the fight tonight. It's not because Chris Eubank Jr. let him off. Sorry, I'll let you carry on.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you. The rounds where Eubank didn't knock Williams down, could see Williams clawing himself back into the fight. And I think I put it on Twitter. I said, stranger things have happened when a guy's knocked a guy down 2 or 3 times. Guy's got off the deck and come around and calls a knockout afterwards. Yeah, it happens. So, you know, I don't know. Eubank's going to have to decide who he is and what he is. This Roy Jones, all for this fight, I was thinking to myself, you know what? And it sounds silly. He's 1 punch away by being knocked out cold. Like that style, he seems so vulnerable with that style because he pulls straight back from punches. And that's the worst thing you can do. Correct. If you're fighting a puncher, is to pull straight back from punches. Straight back. And straight back. I can see him getting knocked out cold, right? By an overhand right. You can see it coming. Oh, he's got a great chin, but you can't keep leaving you exposed to shots like that. That's a knockout, a brutal knockout waiting to happen. It's almost like Roy Jones is training him to get knocked out that way.
you see him, right? And I'm not trying to be, I think people think we're being overcritical. The reason why we're being critical of Eubank is because we've been told Eubank's going to be a world champion, right? So we're looking at this from a perspective of, has Chris Eubank progressed to the point where he is going to be a world champion, right? And what I'm saying tonight is, Ingram, I completely agree with you. I noticed early on, Ingram, he really, really struggled with the pace in his fight. And his hands were dropping to his waist and his mouth was hanging open as early as like round 4, round 5. You know, that pace was really, really getting to him. I think Williams did a good job tonight. He showed a good blueprint. Don't let Eubank get them breaks. And Eubank, to me, was tired. You know, it was a lot of good footwork on the outside, but the hands were by the waist. He was throwing all of them. That's why he's throwing the uppercuts so much. Hands by his waist, and he's throwing shots from the waist. Uppercuts from the waist, lifting up from the waist, because hands by his waist. And then he was leaning back, you're right, leaning back, chin in the air. Got caught with a couple of right hands. Luckily, it's Liam Williams. It's not a George Groves. It's not someone that's going to hurt him. It's not someone that's going to stagger him, yeah? And really put him on the back foot. It's Liam Williams.
It's not a Gennady Golovkin. Let's put it this way. Oh, my God.
I still think, you know, if Golovkin has anything left, he's going to beat Eubank, but jab alone. If he's got anything left, I don't think Eubank beats him.
Eubank, you see, Golovkin doesn't like movement. He doesn't like movement. And if Eubank can keep that movement going for 12 rounds against a Golovkin, then he's got a chance. you know, but he's got to get that movement going and not get hit with our right hands that he's getting cooked with Leon Williams with. The reason why Eubank was tired as much as he was is because have you ever seen Eubank move that much around in the ring?
I've never seen him cover. Never.
So that's the first time you've seen him move around the ring like that. And when you try to adapt to style, and he's now 32 years old now? Eubank Jr.?
Yeah, next gen. Yeah, 32 years old, and he's got next gen on his shorts.
You know, so
the man's only a couple of years younger than me. Not a couple, but the man's only like, you know, I'll tell you, I'm 36. So Chris Eubank Jr. is only 4 years younger than me. I might have to walk around with my bald head, yeah, calling myself next gen. See, when I go to bed tonight and I give the missus one, I might have to put on my next gen boxer shorts and give her one, innit? And I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go Chris Eubank Jr.'s hair transplant artist as well. And I get a damn hair transplant and get a beard tattooed and all.
Oh boy.
Let me ask you a question. But let me ask you this from Daryl, who does.
Yeah, Daryl's
you know Daryl, yeah.
Shout
Daryl says. Yeah, no worries. Daryl says, Ingram, do you think Eubank dropping Williams so early played a part in why Eubank fought so lazily? Get your questions into Ingram. Ask Ingram. He will answer as many as he can for you. I need to start reading your comments out. Carry on, please.
So I think, to me, what I don't understand, if you don't like somebody, if you really have bad feeling towards somebody, when you drop them like that, you want to go in there and finish them off.
Killer instinct. Killer instinct.
It's just
you need that at top level, Ingram. The guy is an embarrassment. Carry on.
Yeah, he's talking about he wants to, like, people like Leon Williams need to be out of boxing. You get a guy hurt like that, you want to take him out. You don't flipping dance around the ring and keep away from him. You see him hurt, you sense blood, you take him out of there. So, in answer to Daryl's question, I think Eubank may have, you know, he might have said, you know what, I'm up on a scorecard. I'm beating this guy up. What do I have to do? I'll just move around the ring. But then the question I have to ask is now more of Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. is a fabulous fighter, and from the reports I've had from guys who are very close to Roy Jones and have trained him, says that his eyes are very good at picking up things happening inside the ring. He's very perceptive. What I don't get is Chris Eubank Jr. is throwing almost the same combinations throughout the fight, missing with the right hand, missing mostly the uppercut. I didn't understand why Eubank kept throwing those combinations or those punches, and Roy Jones didn't say to him, "Look, you're missing with them shots."
Can I just jump in and say what I think that is?
Yeah,
because he has no fucking jab. He's got no jab. He's got no jab. If Chris Eubank had some form of a fucking jab, he'd find it a lot more easier to set the shots up. Touch the jab. He could work shots off his jab. He's got no jab. He literally has no jab. He can't defend a jab, and he has no jab. So anytime you get Chris Eubank Jr. on the back foot, Chris Eubank Jr. has one of three moves he will do. Yeah, Chris Eubank Jr. is like one of three moves. Do you know the chess sets we used to have? Do you remember them chess sets we used to have back in the day? And they had computers in them, and you could play chess by yourself against the computer. Chris Eubank's one of them chess. You know them electronic. Let me Google that. Chris Eubank's like one of them electronic chess sets, on level 2. Do you know what I mean? Where it's got you play against the computer, and the computer got 4 moves. That's Chris Eubank Jr. He's one of them chess sets. Whenever you push him on the back foot, he winds up looking for the left hook. The thing is, he telegraphs everything. He'll cock his left hand back and he'll angle it in a way you know he's looking for the counter left hook. That's 1. Move number 2 is the right hand over the top. 3 is the right uppercut. He telegraphs the right uppercut because he turns, the way he angles his shoulder and turns his shoulder makes it obvious that he's looking to wind up and throw the right uppercut. Those are his 2 moves. That's what Chris Eubank is, Ingram, in my opinion. Chris Eubank Jr. has got as many moves as this Lexibert Chessman FX on level 2. 3 moves that man's got. 3 moves. If he actually learned how to jab, right? If he actually learned how to jab, I just think it would open up so many more. I'm actually going to bring Daryl in a minute if he wants to come on, because I think I'm going to get called a hater, Ingram. I'm sorry, I'm talking all over you. But I just think if he had a jab, it would open up so many more combinations for him, Ingram. It would open up so many more avenues for him. But I've not seen it yet, Ingram, in 32 fights. Sorry, Ingram, carry on.
The double jab right hand combination would have locked Leon Williams. It was a sucker for that double jab and right hand down the pipe. Bloody sucker for it. And I couldn't understand why Eubank didn't throw that combination once in the fight. I couldn't understand it. He kept trying to throw this uppercut that wasn't working. He threw his check left hook that wasn't working. So I didn't understand what Eubank was doing. I didn't know, and I didn't understand what instructions Roy was giving him in the corner to deal with Williams. All that didn't seem to make sense anyway. Somebody asked the question: out of the four of them, who would Eubank do best against? Well, I'll tell him right now: avoid Jamal Charlo. He doesn't want to fight Jamal Charlo.
No way.
No chance.
Charlo's got too much wingspan for him.
Oh,
Charlo's got a good jab, and Charlo, he wouldn't get near Charlo. Too much wingspan.
Oh. Jab, the right hand, the combination. I just no. I don't
you talk about killer instinct. I know the Charlos have critics, but Charlos do have some form of killer instinct, particularly the one at 154, the 154 one. I know you're talking about. I think Jamal, the one who's the bigger one.
Jamal's my boy. I like Jamal.
Is Jamal the bigger one who's fighting Canelo? Yeah.
Yeah, he's the bigger one. Fighting Canelo, he's the bigger one. Let
me tell you, the little one, the Jamal. Jesus Christ! Talk about killer instinct. Can you ever you see how Jamal finished off fighting? You see how he finished off Julian J. Rock Williams with that parry slip uppercut to become unified champion. That boy's got killer instinct running through his damn veins. I'm not saying he's a perfect fighter, but that boy has killer instinct running through his damn veins. You never see to catch them boys in the post fight going,
you know what?
These guys need to be part of boxing. I'm not going to finish them.
You know what? Out of the four guys there, I would still put Eubank in with GGG. I still would do it. Yes.
I like Andrade. I think out of all, I think Andrade is the one who's got the best shot at.
No. You're crazy. Andrade, have you seen Andrade? But you look at the guys.
Liam Williams hurt Andrade, Ingram, but Liam Williams hurt Andrade and had him hanging on in their fight.
He did. But Liam Williams fundamentally has got better boxing skills than Eubank Jr. He has got a jab. He's got a right hand. He's got a left hook. He's fundamentally better suited. I think GG.
I think I might be wrong there. Andrade does have an excellent jab. Carry on, Ingram. Sorry.
GGG would be the best fight for a number of reasons. He's aging. He's older, much older now. And GGG, to be fair, he doesn't like guys that move around the ring. He, like Canelo, likes guys to stand right in front of him. You know. And I think out of the four of them, if I'm managing Eubank Jr., I'll go for GGG. And the instructions will be this: just stay on the outside, use the jab when GGG gets close, tie him up, and just stay on the outside. Stay on the outside for that fight. Do not stand and trade with GGG. Keep on the outside. Just circle the ring. And I think the style he's got against, and no showboating either. None of that showboating stuff. Left to right, right to left. And just keep it at distance. He can outpoint GGG at this stage of his career.
Listen,
I
think Chris Eubank needs to rematch Marcus Morrison, but that's just my opinion. I'm a hater. He needs to rematch Marcus Morrison, man.
Listen.
Forget about Triple G, man. Fight Marcus Morrison.
You're talking about out of the four of the guys. If you're asking me out of the four guys, I'm going GGG. The other three guys are pretty. I mean, GGG is the guy that I would go with. Age and wear and tear, and GGG hasn't fought recently, so I think that's the guy I would take. He's aging. Right. Take that fight.
195 here in the chat. I will get Ingram up shortly. You can follow him at BWTM Sports. I will be putting links around. I'm just currently trying to finish the rest of my dinner off. 180, 190 in the chat. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button. Simon Jordan, Ingram, who's about as ruthless as they get, says, Eubank Jr. versus Williams. There's no world champion in that ring. Ruthless.
Yeah, Simon Jordan.
I mean, how do you feel about Sky pushing Eubank? Do you think that's a sign that really they're stable, isn't it? I mean, Johnny Nelson was just desperately pushing Eubank towards the end.
Wait. Let me pull you back in. How many pay-per-view stars has Matchroom got?
I'm just trying to think here. Hold on.
Yeah, keep thinking.
They told me Dillian White's a pay. I'm counting Dillian White because Ben Shalom last week said he's a pay-per-view star in his own right.
Yeah, but wait. But isn't Dillian White a free agent?
He's a free agent. Yeah, he's a free agent.
Right, so that doesn't count.
Right, it's okay. AJ.
Yeah, go on. What else?
Is Chisora pay-per-view star? Wait, Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor. Sure, Katie Taylor.
She's gonna get absolutely smashed. She's gonna get absolutely smashed to bits by Serrano. Serrano's gonna smash her to bits. I'm telling you. Wait, she fights for her face, And you cannot fight with your face against a puncher like Serrano. Serrano's going to destroy her. I'm telling you.
Let me bring in Daryl. Daryl, I'm not going to bring you for the whole show as usual, but I'm going to bring you for a few minutes, Daryl, to give your opinion, because I know you're a little bit pro Eubank, yeah? And I'm a bit wary because I'm absolutely laying into Eubank tonight. Guys, please hit the like, please hit the subscribe. Do you think Eubank is a world champion in waiting? I can't see it tonight, but Daryl's about to set me straight. Go on, Daz, give your opinion.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that Eubank is a world champion in waiting, but I think he's levels above Williams, and he proved that today. I think Williams was quite shocking, actually. He got dropped off of a lazy jab, I believe, twice. His punch distance looked like it had gone. His footwork was poor. He couldn't cut down the ring and really pressure Eubank. The only time when he really looked effective was during the last 6-7 rounds, when Eubank had already banked 3 knockdowns, and he was just playing around, clowning, being disrespectful. I think Eubank's attitude was really poor in the fight. He didn't ever look like he was actually trying to get the stoppage. He took his foot off the gas, and that's not what paying customers want to see. If you bought a ticket to see that, and you come down to spend your hard-earned money to watch Eubank run around the ring for like 18 minutes, I think you'd be absolutely disgusted. So I think he needs to have a word with himself.
Can I just quickly jump in, Daryl? There's only one thing I disagree with you on that, and it's Williams' footwork. I think his footwork is fucking good. I think what I saw from Williams tonight, was a lot of in and out movement. A lot of in and out on the feet. And I think he absolutely, his footwork threw Eubank tonight and probably saved him from the knockout. Because when he had Eubank on the back foot with those jabs, he was pushing Eubank on the back foot with the jabs and the double jabs and getting him moving backwards. Eubank was trying to set him up for the counter all night long. And I think what saved Liam Williams in this fight and kept him on his feet was the fact that he was feinting with his feet and foot feinting and bouncing in and out. Completely threw off Eubanks' timing. And that's why we saw Eubanks tonight missing with the big right uppercut tonight, missing with the big right hands. That's why Eubank was missing with a lot of his counter shots. Because I just feel Williams' footwork, his in and out movement, really threw off Eubanks' timing. But carry on, that's just my perception. But carry on, Daryl, carry on.
It's a fair comment, but I think when Eubank was moving laterally side to side, I don't think Williams really knew what to do with that. It was only really when Eubank allowed himself to get backed up in straight lines, because like you were saying, Williams would feint, Eubank would keep going backwards in straight lines, and he'd pull out of his head up, and then eventually his back would hit the ropes, and then he'd take a couple of shots, either get held by Williams or he'd try his lateral movement, moving side to side. And when he would go side to side, he would often be able to show a left hook, like show it as if he's going to throw it, and then use that to bait Williams to back off for half a second. Then he would step out to that same side and run off. But I think Eubank didn't really, for the last half of the fight, look to me like he was trying to do anything other than just go to the scorecards and bank his win, because he knew he dropped him 3 times already anyway. So 3 to 8 rounds.
Right, let me just let Ingram, Daryl, stay here. Don't go anywhere, Daryl. That's fine. Let me let Ingram come in. Ingram, just give your opinions on what Daryl said there.
I can't fault Daryl. He's spot on what he's saying.
Daryl's the man. Everyone knows Daryl's the man. Carry on, Ingram.
I can't fault what he's saying. It's a bit disappointing because after all the talk, he wanted to punish him. He wanted Williams out of boxing. If this is what he considers punishing somebody, then I don't know. I was expecting Eubank to put it together tonight. I thought, right, okay, he's had 3 fights with Roy or whatever. This will be the fight. He's going to put it on Liam Williams, and he's going to put him out of his misery, finish his fight inside 6 rounds, and we can move on to another fight. But now, I'm not so sure.
Put it together. Fucking Chris Eubank Jr. could even put together an IKEA sofa. Fuck it.
Oh, it's not good, is it?
Let me tell you, what's Daryl's there. Daryl, can you give me your opinion? I'm trying to find a picture of Chris Eubank Jr. with his sheriff's badge. But before I ask you about that, Daryl, I want to ask you about this. Daryl, are we saying a prayer for night to poor Callum? This poor man Callum who put his life savings on Chris Eubank Jr. to win by stoppage. The same Chris Eubank Jr. who's on Sky Sports tonight saying that he deliberately didn't stop Liam Williams. Callum just lost his life savings. Being a Eubank fan, being a Eubank fan is a hard knock life, mate, Daryl. It's a hard knock life. Have you got any other thoughts, Daryl, to finish off on like what you saw from Eubank tonight on the card? Also, did you see Steve Robinson? If you didn't, you didn't. That's fine. But just final thoughts on is Eubank who out of them 4? Them 4 that I mentioned, I think were Munguia, Triple G, Andrade, and Jamal Charlo. Who has he got the best chance of out of them 4?
Okay, I'll go for it quickly. Munguia, I think, gives Eubank a lot of problems. I think if Eubank was standing trade with Mingia, I think Mingia would give him a lot of problems, and that would be his best chance of winning for Mingia. But I think Mingia has footwork that is slower than Eubank, so maybe he could get outpointed. Depends on where the fight is. If the fight was in America, maybe he wouldn't have pointed. That's stop him, and then it'd be the world of problems of trying to go toe to toe with that guy. Triple G, I think Triple G punch resistance is not what it was, but his technique would probably be enough to give Eubank problems. I think if Eubank didn't hurt him at least once or twice in the first 6 rounds, then Triple G would walk him down and stop him. But I think Eubank has a good chance in that. I'll say that's 50-50. Andrade, I think, is too good for Eubank. I think Andrade would beat him quite comfortably. And I think Charlo was the last one. I think Charlo would absolutely ice Eubank. Either Charlo, I think, would do that to him. So I don't see him taking that fight.
Oh, Jesus. And look at this. Oh, my gosh. Look at this. Daryl. Go on, Ingram. Jump in. Ingram, jump in quickly. Go for it.
This is actually a fight that I was actually going to talk about. Ben versus Eubank. It's a fight like...
Can you guys see the screen?
You know
look
what?
on the clip tracked in. Carry on, Ingram. Carry on.
You know, what a fight for the ages. Eubank versus Ben. Who wants to promote on pay-per-view, eh?
Listen, there'll be a lot of fucking swinging. There's not a lot of jabbing in that fight. So there'll be a lot of hooks. A lot of swinging, innit?
There's a lot of hookers on the night. Yeah,
a lot of hookers, yeah. Have that one outside the Red Lion. Daryl, any quick words on Conor Benn tonight? He's just called out. Well, he's not called out, but he just said he fancies a crack at Chris Eubank Jr. I'll be honest, Daryl, my initial thoughts are I wouldn't give Conor Benn a fucking hope against Chris Eubank Jr. Mainly because I wouldn't give Conor Benn a hope because Conor Benn, right, is another one, with all due respect, who has serious problems with technique. He's another guy who gets by on his physicality. He's not going to be able to out-physical Chris Eubank Jr. Daryl, give us your thoughts on that quickly if you can.
When you've got two guys who don't rely on technique and they just rely on athleticism, the bigger and stronger, more athletic person will win in that scenario, which is Eubank. So that's an easy win for Eubank.
Yeah.
Chris, he's too big. He's too big for him.
Yeah. I would go with Eubank by stoppage if he decides to stop him. Do you know what I mean? You never know with Eubanks, innit? He might come up with excuses after the fight. Well, he's fucking Nigel Benn's dad, so I just want to punish him. I'm not gonna go in there.
One thing I just wanted to add before I jump off, guys, is that I don't believe that Eubank's heart is in boxing anymore. I think he is now just picking up paychecks and he wants to, and it just to fund his celebrity lifestyle, because I don't think a serious boxer would come out after a fight like that, after being just a clown for 6 rounds, and then say, "Oh yeah, I could have stopped him, but I chose not to." He's not serious. I don't see him doing anything seriously in boxing going forward from this point on.
Well, but hold on a minute, Daryl. Please don't tell me he's going to start a music career, because he looks like Flo Rida as bad as it is in a minute, doesn't he? He looks like Flo Rida. Please don't tell me he's going to start a music career. You spin me right round, baby, right round like it. Daryl, I'm going to bring you back. I'm going to bring you back in a couple of days. Cool, that's why I'm saving you. Yeah?
Thanks, guys. Cheers. I'm off.
See you soon.
Take care, Daryl.
Take care, brother. Take care. Ingram, please, Save us from this nonsense. Conor Benn versus Chris Bro, come onto the zone pay-per-view near you. Please, Ingram. Carry on, Ingram. Save us, Ingram.
Well, we've had Frankie Gavin versus Kell Brook for all the marbles. So I mean,
did you
Sky pay-per-view? Remember that?
Did you see the? Did you see the fucking Khan and Brook quickly? Did you see that Khan and Brook thing that was going on with the two of them having a crackle? First and foremost, it was nice to see Amir Khan on a webcam without his todger out. So I think you have to give Amir Khan with extra points for that. That's always a plus, isn't it? Amir Khan fully clothed on a webcam for a change, laying into Kell Brook. Ingram, I'm trying to find this video. Amir Khan's recently been on Instagram promoting doner kebab shops. I'm not even joking. There's videos of Amir Khan on Instagram going, "This doner is bad." He's eating doner kebab and he's going, "This doner is bad." I've got Khan getting knocked out, Ingram. I'm just not sure. Brook looks in good shape, didn't he? Brook looks cut. What are you thinking about that tonight?
I don't want to use the word getting tested, but that whole team, that whole Sheffield, there's a big question mark over that whole Sheffield team, to be honest with you. I don't know anymore, to be honest with you.
Are we talking about things that involve urine samples
and stuff like that. Yeah, I know. I don't know. I don't want to. I don't want to speak bad or ill of people, but I just don't know anymore. There's too many stories and too many situations now, and I don't know. So when I see a guy from that camp looking cut and ready to go, I just ask myself the question:
I see. Yeah.
Are you legit? Or are you? You know,
not,
I can't. You understand what I'm saying? I can't look at things the same anymore.
Yeah, it only counts. My motto is it only counts if you're doing any testing. If you're not doing any testing, then it don't count. Everybody's clean. Let me say, what would you pick, Ingram? And we'll go through some comments. Guys, sorry, I haven't been reading out your comments. I've been doing 18 things at the same time. I will start going through your comments. Ingram, what would you pick as the next fight for Eubank? If you could. Just name some names.
Billy Joe Saunders.
Who would you pick to win that fight? Him or Billy Joe?
The first 6 rounds, Billy Joe did what he was doing because Eubank did nothing. The next 6 rounds or 5 rounds, Eubank did really well against Saunders. I'd like to see them play it back again and see Eubank do the same things again, but start from the first round right through to 12 rounds. This time, I'd like to see him actually fight at a pace for 12 rounds. I think Saunders is there for the taking now, to be honest.
I think you're right, you know. I mean, you know what Saunders is doing. Saunders is trying to keep himself out of jail at the minute for extra. But can I just say, Ingram, 232 people at the minute, 46 likes. That has to be the most disgusting like to viewer ratio probably in the history of YouTube. So if you could do two brothers a favor and please hit the like button, that'd be out 233 people and 40 likes. That is absolutely disgusting. I've got a good mind to phone up BLM. Ingram, I keep saying, good mind. So I've got a good mind to have BLM start protesting outside people's houses. Carry on, Ingram. Cash for Cat says Billy Joe Saunders would get a decision again. I just think Billy Joe must be overweight, fat, hasn't been in the ring for a long time. I think his career's over, Ingram. But the payday might be there. Carry on.
Payday might be there, and it won't be the first time a gypsy's been overweight and then come back and stun the world. So, hey, Tyson Fury can do it. I'm sure Billy Joe could probably do it as well. So, who knows?
Rob Wood says tonight about Eubank, he boxed to Roy Jones' instructions and he won fairly comfortable in the end. Just a quick thoughts on that because we're going to go through all the comments.
He probably did box to Roy Jones' instructions.
Jones,
whether that is what the fans want to see, because trainers they want to protect the longevity of their fighters. So the longer their fighter is able to fight, the more money they can pull into their bank accounts. And that's when you got to look at it. Boxing's a business. And Eubank will be fighting to Jones's instructions. And I totally would agree with him there. It might not be what the fans want to see, but it'll be what Roy Jones wants. And if they are targeting a GGG fight, then you can see there some of the things that he would need to do to fight and be successful against GGG. Some of the things, the movement, the lateral movement he will need, not staying in front of GGG, but obviously pulling straight back from punches is not going to help him.
A few people in the chat are picking up on some of Daryl's comments that they don't think Chris Eubank Jr.'s heart is in boxing. To me, Ingram, his heart has to be in boxing because he has no other discernible talent. Short of going into the jungle with Tony Bellew and eating kangaroo bollocks, what the fuck is he going to do if his boxing career is over? Do you buy into that? He looks in tremendous shape. I haven't seen any, or maybe, unless it's the passing away of his brother, which is obviously very tragic and we'll never laugh at
Absolutely.
that. It's had some effect in it. Do you know that's what it is, Ingram? Carry on.
It could be that. Grieving is something that nobody can quite...
Yeah, you can't quantify it, can you?
You can't. So grief is one thing. So he might be going through that. Also, the mindset of Roy Jones Jr. If he's listening to his trainer, you don't know what Roy is saying to Eubank. Do you understand? Boxing's a dirty business, blah, 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 blah. You don't know what sort of influence Roy's having in his career. Plus the grieving of his brother. You know, those two things put together, you just don't know what is really going on in the mindset of Chris Eubank Jr., to be honest with you. So,
do you think he's made enough money from boxing? Has he had that many big paydays from boxing? Because he's got expensive taste. Him and his dad have got very expensive taste. Like Chris Eubank Senior. I mean, he gives me the impression that he wears Louis Vuitton boxers and brushes his teeth with a Louis Vuitton toothbrush. I mean, everything they have is money.
Yeah, well, Mr. Eubank used to be my neighbour.
Oh, really?
So, when
Sussex,
I used to live in Brighton,
must have been Sussex, right?
It was interesting to see Mr. Eubank around town. Sussex,
Well, he went bankrupt,
That's
didn't
the one,
he?
Sussex, yeah.
That's what. And he, remember when Eubank went bankrupt? He went bankrupt, didn't he, Eubank? He went bankrupt.
Think about this for 1 second, yeah. Thinking about Chris Eubank Jr., Chris Eubank Sr. Chris Eubank Sr. said he never wanted his. He said that boxing was a mug's game, and he didn't want his son to be mistreated and all the rest of it. But he stuck Eubank in the ring with Billy Joe Saunders way before he even did a 12-rounder fight. So if you look at Eubank Sr.'s career, he fought a whole lot of nobodies before he fought the Nigel Benn fight. He didn't even allow his son that privilege to have that ability, that time to box as a pro and learn his game properly. And I think to myself, if Eubank Sr. wasn't in the ring that night and he had a proper training in his corner that night against Saunders, could Eubank Jr. have beaten Saunders that night?
I don't think, my opinion, Ingram, I know people aren't going to like this. I don't think he ever beats someone like Billy Joe at 100% ever. I think Billy Joe's the one who actually had a lot of room to improve in that fight. I don't think he can beat Billy Joe. I don't think Chris Eubank Jr. has ever shown that he can handle a jab. Can I ask you a question? Tonight's fight against Liam Williams?
Yes.
Did the questions that I had about Chris Eubank Jr., okay? What happens when an opponent has a very good jab? What happens when an opponent's pumping the jab at him? What happens when he gets pushed on the back foot? Did he answer any of those questions, or did he answer any of the major questions that you had about him going into tonight's fight? Did he tick any of them off?
No, he didn't.
Daryl's saying he's worth 20 million. I just said, Daryl, what's he been doing? Fucking drug running. Where's he got 20 million from? You get 20 million. Chris Eubank, he ain't been in no big fights. Fought George Groves in a WBSS. I'm trying to think about all these big fights.
Arthur Abraham. Arthur Abraham.
Well, Arthur Abraham, yeah. That was a good performance.
James DeGale.
Yes, that's where the majority of it came from. That pay-per-view heist that they did on the ITV box office. Shout out to Richard Poxon, who's one of my... I love Richard Poxon. He's one of my closest friends on Twitter. He's a very good guy. I actually speak to him a little bit, actually. Behind the scenes. He's a great guy. Honestly, Ingram, Richard Poxon is one of the very, very best people I've ever spoken to in that line of work. He is fucking amazing. He's really good...
That was the night that they tried to block me from getting into the arena.
You should have called me. I'll get you in. He's a really, really good. It
was all right. It was Don King that got me into the arena instead. But that's another story for another day. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Okay.
Noah, I remember that night very well. Go ahead.
Noah says, Ultra, how good do you think Eubank would have been if he had Roy training him for his whole career? Go on, Ingram. People are obsessed with this Roy Jones shit, Ingram. They love this Roy Jones shit, don't they?
They do.
He can have Eubank hopping around like a rooster. You know, Roy Jones be throwing them rooster punches and shit.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. Okay. I can't answer that one.
Have you got anything else that you want to pick up on? Because we might go in like 10 or 15 or something. So
I still want to see him fight Gennady Golovkin. You know, I remember, and it's not a very good comparison, but I remember the fight the night that Evander Holyfield fought Bobby Ches, yeah, and Bobby Ches was beating the brakes off Evander Holyfield. Evander Holyfield's got a strange stoppage in the end. The next fight he was going to fight Mike Tyson. And people said that Mike Tyson was going to destroy Evander. He was Holyfield. He was old. He was finished. He was this. He was that. And of course, Holyfield went on to beat Mike Tyson. So what I'm trying to say is that, okay, Eubank hasn't looked great tonight. He's looked okay. And you say a work in progress under Roy Jones. Ultimately, Roy Jones and Chris Eubank Jr. will be really judged on when he fights for a world title.
Okay.
Right?
Fair comment.
Because tonight, what I did see, if you have a puzzle, you can see the picture of a puzzle, but then you break the puzzle up, and then you have to put the puzzle together, and you think to yourself, well, this looks a bit strange. What is this actual picture? And tonight we've seen Eubank move from left to right for 12 rounds. We've seen him do that.
That is true.
We've seen him show movement, which he definitely cannot box the way he's boxed previously against Gennady Golovkin. He'll get absolutely destroyed if you fought Gennady Golovkin the way he's fought like George Groves and previous fights. So to do the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, is insanity. So if we look at it from this perspective of Eubank showing movement, moving from left to right, lateral movement, and not engaging, that's a plus. And I'm trying to take the positives from this. If the plan is for him to fight Gennady Golovkin and it's movement, then thumbs up. If it's to fight safety first, not engage, not go for the kill against Gennady Golovkin, great. Again, that's a plus point for tonight. If you're looking at it that way, the next fight being Golovkin, if that's the fight they're planning for, and that's the Eubank project, then that's the way I look at the fight with him and Liam Williams. If he's gonna fight Jamal Charlo or Munguia or Andrade with that shitty box tonight, he can forget it, because him dancing around the ring against them guys, it won't work. But against a guy that's got flat-footed like Gennady Golovkin and an aging Gennady Golovkin, what he did tonight, moving around the ring, gives me some confidence that he can do some good against Golovkin. Now, bearing in mind, this is an aging Golovkin. I mean, does anyone remember the last time Golovkin fought?
No.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he got beat by Deverenchenko.
I can't remember seeing that fight, but
he got. As far as I'm concerned, he got beat by Deverenchenko. So
that's very questionable.
You know,
listen, I think your summation's been. Listen, Ingram, I think your summation excellent about Eubank. I agree. Maybe I've been a bit too negative, and like I said, what you said is right. Look, styles make fights. Golovkin's a guy who hasn't had a lot of activity in the fight. I just remember the last time Eubank had to fight Eubank, and everything was done, and he just would not sign. But maybe this time, like I said before, he'll take it and he'll have a crack. I was going to ask, just before we let you get an early night's rest, have you got any thoughts on the Dillian White-Tyson Fury situation, just before we go? Because we haven't had you on since then. I just wanted to know what you thought about, will Dillian turn up? Do you think he's going to take the fight?
I've heard some stories come out that the contract hasn't been signed yet. I've heard that story. I've heard another story that he's trying to get a deal with Sky Sports. I've heard numerous stories. I've heard he maybe he might take an AJ fight. I don't know. I really don't know. I keep hearing different stories here, there, and everywhere. There was another thing I wanted to mention as well. Jake Paul becoming a promoter and getting this fight with Serrano and Katie Taylor.
Yeah.
Don't you find it strange that Eddie Hearn is this big promoter and he couldn't get those two together, and Jake Paul, the YouTuber, can get these two together?
I'll tell you what, I think Jake Paul's making some moves at the minute. I think the impression of Jake Paul is amongst boxing circles is getting better by the day. I think a lot of people like his stance on women's boxing. I think a lot of people like the way he's sticking up for the women. I personally don't care either way, but a lot of people, the opinion of Jake Paul, particularly his rants against Dana White and the UFC, and his highlighting of the massive pay discrepancy between UFC fighters and boxers, is winning him quite a few fans in a minute in boxing. Let's say talk about that fight. I've got Taylor in that fight by unanimous decision, and I'm convinced about that. I'm sticking to that.
I've got Serrano by stoppage.
All right, we'll see. I think what's going to do Serrano is it's 2-minute rounds. I've been given with us 3-minute rounds. I'll go with you, but I think 2-minute rounds is going to be the undoing of it. And I think after that fight, like I said before, I really think 2-minute rounds is going to suit Taylor, and I think she'll be able to box and move enough, and score enough points to box and run and get it done. I think it's going to be hard for Serrano in 2-minute rounds. We'll see.
I'll tell you something. If that police officer, I keep forgetting her name, the part-time police officer. she kicked her ass the first time round, as far as I was concerned. And beat
So
the crap out
Serrano
of
needs to quicken
Serrano.
up them. I watched her last fight though. Feet-wise, Serrano, she looked a bit slow on the feet though. Vicious power, but she looked a little bit slow on the feet. She wasn't cut.
Yeah.
Really cut off the girl.
The thing about Taylor, she fights with her face, and she fights a lot.
Yeah,
you see Taylor, she's fought a lot of fights. She's fought a lot of fights back to back to back. And I wonder now, you can't keep taking in punches in your face over and over again and fight back to back to back fights. That catches up with you. And you got to fight someone like Serrano. Okay, good luck with that one. Who can punch like Serrano's? Well, we'll see.
No, she's a brutal puncher. All right, Ingram, give us your final thoughts. I'm about to lay into Chris Eubank Jr. one more time, yeah? Before I let these people go to bed. I ain't letting it go, man. I've got one more rant left in me. Ingram, finish up. Give us your points.
Eubank Jr. says that he was going to punish Lee Williams. Eubank Jr. told us that Lee Williams needs to be out of boxing. Then he turns around and tells us at the end, I went the points. I mean, what?
They're talking about a rematch, Ingram. They're saying rematch.
I hope not. I sincerely hope. Well, one thing I do want to ask, right? I've seen Eubank as a boy. Are they his teeth, or has he had something done with his teeth? He talks. I'm looking at his teeth. Nothing else but his teeth. Are they his teeth, or has he had something done with his mouth or something? Because
I think I've just googled. Oh, that's Eubank Senior who had his teeth done. That's Eubank Senior. I tell you what, it's no. Someone said you're right, Ingram. No, he's got new teeth. So I think just the hair and the beard. He's got new hair, teeth, and a beard.
Oh boy.
Daryl's saying he's worth 20 million. That's where all the 20 million's going. Hair, beef, and it's funny because him and Conor Ben. Show you what, before him and Conor Ben step into the ring for their catchweight fight, they should go on the gloves off and do a battle of the beards. Who had the best beard transplant? It's funny, isn't it?
Wow.
Their fathers are two of the most masculine men of all time, but both of them sons couldn't grow fucking beards without the help of with implants. That's very fucking strange, isn't it? Carry on, Ingram. New teeth, new beard. Carry on. You were saying he was all part of the plan tonight. Carry on.
So I don't know where Eubank Jr. is going with all this, to be honest. I hope I'm hoping that movement and all that stuff he did tonight was just a preparation for him to fight Golovkin. I hope. That's what I hope. And I pray, because otherwise, when you don't have if you don't show killer instinct in a fight, in a grudge match against a guy that you said such horrible things about you.
Exactly.
I do wonder. I wonder about your stomach for the game, your heart for the game, whether you still want to be in the game, like what Daryl said. So I just wonder.
Just a final for me, Ingram. In closing, look at this. Brook, I've just found this live on Twitter. Don't use any dodgy words that will get me kicked off the air, but this is a terrible, terrible, terrible video. Someone said this is behind the scenes exclusive training camp footage leaked of Brook. Look at this. Keep watching. Whoever did that's a disgrace. That is terrible. Do you get that?
I'm not quite sure.
It's about looking at this. People have been throwing allegations around about Brook, which I don't care about.
Oh boy.
Do you get it?
Yeah. Can't say.
Yeah,
Why did he just come out? Why did he just come out and say what he is?
Ingram, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it. I owe you a show. Let me know when you want to come on if you want me to come on.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. Just give me the link and I'll do it, okay?
Obviously, sounds good. Talk soon.
Okay, talk soon, brother. See you later.
All the best.
Ingram, the main man himself. Sorry, I just come across that video. Do you heard it there from the man himself there? The great Ingram. Looks like I'll be on this show. I think I owe Ingram a show big time. So unfortunately, I do owe him a show. I'm just trying to get away from that video. That whoever made that video is an absolute fucking disgrace. Whoever made that video making things about Brook. Right. Let me just finish up here. Sorry about that. Yes, please sub. Let's get this out the way. Please sub to BWTM Sports. Let me get BWTM Sports up here on the channel, and I will give you the channel link. 208 people in the chat. Please do not go anywhere. I am not quite done yet. I've got one more rant left in me against Chris Eubank. 217 in here. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. It's been a very, very long night. You know, I'm doing this for free. There's no super chats anywhere. Can you see? Here is the link to BWTM Sports in the chat, and here, if I can just mute this tab, is the channel itself. There you go. There's BWTM Sports with Ingram Jones. Link currently in the chat. Please hit the subscribe. Please subscribe to Ingram. Ingram also contributes to my channel, and I believe I'll probably be on Ingram's show very, very soon. Hopefully this time it's just me and Ingram talking about boxing, but you never know in life. Right. Let's finish up. Sharon says, you staying up for the Keith Thurman fight? I think he loses. I have no idea. I think I'm going to have to go to bed. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. Just go for your comments, guys. If you've got any more comments that I haven't seen, type them in. Nicholas says, Ingram's never been big on Golovkin. Golovkin has a monster and accurate jab, and Eubank has no setup. I'm going to give Golovkin the benefit of the doubt on jab alone. Golovkin probably had the best jab in boxing when he was at his peak. Chris Eubank Jr. has no idea what to do against the jab. Like, he literally has no idea. I don't care what anyone says about Eubank. I'm not a believer, and it is what it is. Cash for Cat says Williams is shot. Oh, I forgot to ask Ingram about fucking Clarissa Shields and Savannah Marshall, but I think next time we get Ingram on, we'll do that. I'll ask him about Savannah Marshall and Clarissa Shields. Mungo658 says, ever since I saw Sky Sports bias of a Eubank win, I could not help but think Eubank will win because of politics. Listen, I think that the cards tonight were absolutely disgusting. What do you think about the cards tonight for Chris Eubank versus Liam Williams? One, what was it? One something, 106, 119, 106, or something fucking ridiculous. Hold on. Let me get these Eubank Williams cards up. Those cards need explaining. What did you guys think about that? Them cards need explaining to me. They were way off. Jason Mazer says to Cash for Cat, I think Chris wanted Williams to continue moving forward so he could continue working on what Roy Jones taught him. Williams in round 5 stopped coming forward. No, I don't think so. I think Williams pushed on. Blah, 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 blah. Keep going through some comments. A few people accusing fighters of taking performance enhancing drugs. We're not interested in that. Few comments on Eubank's new teeth. Corrupt says the whole fight. I'll be honest with you. Look at Nick Pete. This is interesting. Nick Pete from Fight Disciples says this was billed as a 50-50, not even close. I thought the fight was close. Other than the knockdowns, I thought the fight was very close. Look, Eubank far too fast and far too cute. Williams miles behind on the cards and in skill. What do you guys think about that? Williams miles behind in the cards and miles behind in skill to Chris Eubank. I didn't see that tonight, mind you. Where this guy isn't exactly a boxing masterclass. Is he? He's not exactly very, very strong when it comes to knowing a lot about boxing. Just trying to see what else. Yeah, well, there you go. Nick Pete is not exactly he's not exactly held in high esteem. Daryl says, how do you drop 3 times in a close fight? Haha, he got slapped about. No, seriously, Daryl, I genuinely think there's a case that Liam Williams won 6 rounds tonight or something, didn't he? What did he win on Matkin's card? I think Liam Williams won 6 straight. I think Liam Williams nearly won the last 7 rounds or something. So, yeah. Klitschko got dropped 3 times by Sam Peter and won the fight, by the way. So that has happened before. Klitschko got beat. Klitschko got dropped 3 times by Sam Peter, and he actually came back and won that fight. I think he won it on points as well. So it has happened before. Corrupt says Felix Cash versus you. See, this is what I'm talking about. Felix Cash is just so much bigger and stronger than Williams. I'm not sure of the skill levels there. But Felix Cash is just so much bigger. Who do you guys have in that fight? Felix Cash versus Eubank. Felix Cash is big. He's big. He's really big. Crazy D3 said, as soon as Eubank got a few early cater knockdowns, we knew what the judges were going to do. Guys, what did you score the fight? How close do you think it was? I don't know. I didn't think. I thought the comeback was really on. I thought that last knockdown. Well, mind you, the comeback wasn't on at all because The judges' scorecards were really wide, so I'm talking nonsense. But I honestly think that Eubank's the money guy there. I thought those cards were horrible. Kevin Liu says Williams' punch resistance is finished. Andrade took his soul, and he is off Ingles Pringles. Well, you're going to get me in trouble there. Let's have a look here on Eubank. Rob Wood says he's not a believer. Let's finish off with this. These are your last comments. Right? I'll stay on for these last comments. Did Chris Eubank Jr. change your mind about him tonight? That's the question that we're going to finish up on. 192 in the chat. Please hit like. Please hit subscribe. Did Chris Eubank's Jr. performance tonight change your opinion of him? So whether you like Chris Eubank Jr. before or you didn't like Chris Eubank Jr. before, did that performance tonight change your opinion of Eubank? So if you didn't like Eubank before, did that performance make you think he's a world champion? If you thought he was garbage before, did that performance make you think, he's not so bad? If you thought he was going to be a world champion, did that performance think, he's going to get smoked? Like, what did that do for you tonight? Where are you at with Chris Eubank Jr. after that performance? 203 in the chat. Please hit the like. Please hit the likes are atrocious, by the way. We've got 200 in the chat and 69 likes. And that is atrocious. But it is what it is. Right, let's go through these comments. What is your verdict on Chris Eubank Jr.? Has it changed your mind in any way, for better or for worse, as they say when you go down the aisle? Shane says, yes, I now believe he can't win a world title. Do you know what? Ingram's got me thinking, Ingram's got me thinking. Maybe. It depends on GGG. That's the fight they're looking for, isn't it? GGG, because it's a big money fight for him. We'll have to see. I mean, I would go with GGG, but I can, I would still go with GGG. Daryl says, Eubank showed me he had improved footwork, but his attitude and lack of killer instinct was disappointing. He won't be a world champ. Norzerb says Chris Eubank is fringe world level. Do you know what? I probably think that's about right for Eubank, fringe world level. You know what? Ironically, he did a much better job on Yildirim than Canelo did, didn't he? That's funny, isn't it? Eubank did a much better job on Yildirim than Canelo did. It is what it is. Jay McMenanin says it's refreshing to see him fight on the back foot. Quite impressed. Fair enough. Joe says world champ. Forget about world champ. You're a hater. Rob Wood says whatever you say, he won the fight tonight and improved. He is not a worldie. He is fringe. Yes. Speaking of fringes, old Callum will definitely be on the fringes tonight. He will be on the fringes of. He'll be in the fringes of Shelter. That's what he'll be. He'll be on the fringes of Dr. Bernardo's. No question about it. Matt Pritchard, as a boxing fan of 40 years, never rated Eubank Jr. at world level. He ain't. LD Phoenix says Eubank has no jab, no boxing brain, and this win will make him even more. Look, I think he is deluded. I mean, however much you hate me and disagree with me, Chris Eubank Jr. is deluded. Like, there's no two ways about that. Like, Chris Eubank's deluded. Like, after that performance tonight, he said it was all part of the plan to not knock out Liam Williams and teach him a lesson. Absolutely fucking delusional. Daryl says Eubank needs to reimburse Callum his £236 life savings. It is what it is. Here we go through these comments. SB Gas says, never changed my opinion one bit. Capable of having excellent moments in a fight mixed with moments of lethargy. I think that's a very, very fair comment there, to be honest. Even I can't argue with that. And I'm being pretty argumentative at the moment. Volts UK says, Eubank won't drop GGG with a jab. That's for sure. There you go. Let's go through. I think we're nearly done. ASD382 says, it didn't change my opinion. I still don't think he's as good as he says he is. He is the reason why people are, the reason why people are high on this fight was of the fact that he consistently fought lower tier. And this was a step up. Fair enough. Yo King says, bruv, it's the same old from Eubanks. It's that hollow feeling after most of his fights. That world champ talk is long. There we go. Right. Let's have a look here. Oh my gosh. Corrupt says, send Eubank to Mick Hennessy where he belongs. Fighting for free on YouTube. Brutal. Gary Core says he was too open and seen a lot of him. Let's have a look. He says he was still too open and seen a lot of him old self. So he's seen a lot of Eubank's old tendencies, going for big swings and leaving himself open. You can't afford to do that in a world title fight. Blah blah blah. Someone's talking about Canelo versus Eubank. We ain't even gonna go there. Right, it is what it is, guys. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate the support. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. I am off to take a break. It's been a lot of shows this week, so not sure the next time I'll be back. So you definitely want to hit like and subscribe to get notified of new shows. I'll probably be taking some kind of break away and actually doing some form of work. Chris Eubank Jr., the second coming, gets it done again. Peace out.